Hello everyone, welcome on EduTap and also welcome to the government scheme session. The scheme that we are covering today it is small savings scheme, and this has been asked by one of you only for me to make a lecture on, and here's the video. So everything, whatever be the important static point as well as what is the current affairs that is related to this particular news, we are going to cover in this session. But before starting, here's an announcement for all the aspirants who are preparing for central regulatory bodies. We have come up with one-stop solution guide to all your queries that you might be having related the examination that you are preparing for. It can be related to the organization, right? Or it can be also related to how to join the organization, are you eligible or not, what are the different criterias, and all these things that you are going to find in these e-guidebooks. So please do not miss the opportunity. You can download these e-guidebooks free of cost from the link that is provided in the description box below, and these are for RBI, NABARD and SEBI that we have come up with. So any queries that are related to these are your one stop solution, right? So let's start with the scheme. So here's, see, first let's understand the news. So see, recently, that's of 3rd April 2023 only, because see, every in every quarter there is there can be modification in the percentage that is provided under the small saving schemes, because see, by now, in fact, from the name itself you must have understood it is related to something savings that is done, and if we are getting interest rates, so of course it is related to post office and bank. So that is the facility provided by the government. Okay, so because recently there has been change and the interest rate under the small saving schemes have been hiked by 10 to 70 basis point. Now what are these basis point? Basically, in simple language, if we have to understand, for example, it is 7.1, and for example, from 6.9 it was jumped to 7.1, right? I'm just giving a simple example. So there is a difference in percentage, right? So we can say that if there is a difference of fluctuation of 0.1%, it is considered to be 10 base point. Okay, so from that you can have a calculation that we because see, and one more thing, because it is savings schemes, it means here we are talking about more than one scheme. So there are many schemes of different duration, of different nature, and all have been clubbed under small saving schemes, and in respective different schemes there have been hike in the basis point. Okay, and that is why this scheme has become important from the examination point of view. And one more thing, if we relate it to our syllabus, so see, the scheme that we're talking about, it has a direct impact on our economy, right? So ESI component of the examination, it directly caters at it, as it belongs to Ministry of Finance. It talks about economy, it talks about savings and banks, right? So first, have a little background. Let's understand about small savings schemes. So see, these schemes have been running since very long time, since 1950s. If we say it's been running since then. So addition of more and more different or new type of schemes have been done through the course of time. But if overall we have to say, for example, public provident fund, which is one type of small savings scheme, it was launched way back in 1950s. Okay, so what's the what was the necessity of it? So see, it is kind of a win-win situation for both the people as well as the government. Now how, let's understand. So basically, people, they would because in these small saving schemes, the interest rate that are being that have been offered by the central government, these are very good. Okay, so the percentage provided is the interest rate that has been provided to the people is very good. So of course they would do more saving, and as the saving would more be done, so capital generation will be more there, right? So people will have benefit. And why government is doing so? So government does things for people, but not with all selflessness. There is some selfish motive also that is there. So what's the selfish motive of government here? So see, basically what happens, government need money to repay the debt they have taken from the international bodies, or maybe from the banks also, RBI only, or also government, apart from this, they also need more money for the infrastructure development and all the whatever the initiatives that they take, right? So now if they borrow money from the banks, they the interest rate that they would have to give back on the money, on the loan that they have taken, it is very high. Okay, that is why the government, what they have done, government, they came up with the scheme, and they so basically what the idea behind is, people, they would in because of the higher interest rate that they will get, people will invest in these small saving schemes, and these are for certain period of time. It can be of 2 years, also 3 years, 5 years, again depending on which type of saving schemes that you have invested. Okay, and then the government, they will utilize this money. So for them, paying this higher interest, it is still lower than the interest rate that they would have to pay on the loan that they would take in the that they would take from the banks, right? So that is why it's a win-win situation for all. People will get more interest rate than, in comparison to the percentage that the interest rate that they get in the private banks or maybe other public banks. And government, they will have money borrowed for a cheaper rate. Okay, so that is why it's for both. So we have understood the basic, and now it's just the formality of understanding the static that we have to do. But the main thing is this only. Here one thing we can understand: small savings have emerged as a key source of financing to the government deficit. So whatever government deficit are with the money, they take up the financing from the small saving schemes that they have come up. And which panel they came up with the small saving scheme? So Shamala Gopinath, remember the name, panel, okay, on small saving schemes, suggested a market linked interest rate system. Okay, so because why, what was the reason of this? Because see, one more thing we have to understand: if the government, they are providing with much higher interest rate, people, they might not invest, or they might not deposit their money in the normal regular banks, right? Be it private or public, any commercial bank. So that is why it has to be. And in fact, RBI, time to time, they raised this topic: if government, they announce higher interest rate, that they have to be somewhere in line. It can be higher, but somewhere it should be still in the line with the banks, so that the banks, they don't face any loss. Okay, so here so they have so what the Shamala Gopinath committee panel, they suggested that a market linked interest rate system should be developed for small savings schemes. Back in 2010 they said that. Okay, launch of the scheme, again, from since 1950s it's been running, with different components or instrument introducing in between, and it falls under the Ministry of Finance. Okay, aim, that is to provide safe and attractive investment option to the public, and at the same time to mobilize sources through development. Okay, first of all, to attract investment options to the public, because they are getting higher interest rate, at the same time to mobilize sources for the development. Okay, so that the money can be utilized, because that will be saved for a certain period of time, that can be utilized for further developments in India. Okay, so it is operated through the post offices, and usually because we have said that under this we have 12 instruments. So under this, majority of them are under post offices, but some of the instrument can be applied through commercial banks as well. Okay, so that is why it can be both. Okay, and these two are not part of this. Let's just skip that. This has not been edited. Now coming to the classification. So there is basically 3 category classification that is done. One is the postal deposit, in which it consists of normal saving accounts. So postal means this post office deposits in the post office we are talking about. So it consists of saving account, these normal saving account for that you normally do in banks as well, right? So here also there are recurring deposit, these are RD. So in that, basically for certain period you do you participate in these kinds of deposit. And in this, how this is somewhat similar to FD also. For FD also, we have to keep the money for certain amount of time, right? But what's the difference between RD and FD is, in a FD you have to keep all the amount at one time only. You have to give all the amount at one time, so it is fixed deposit. While reoccurring means it is happening again and again, right? So recurring deposit, in that you have to submit money monthly. So monthly, whatever amount that you have booked, that every month this amount I'll give in RD. So in RD also is a part of this postal deposit. Or then we have time deposit of varying maturities. Okay, so different time maturity, and monthly income scheme also we have. Okay, apart from that, some saving certificates are there. National small saving certificate. Okay, then we have Mahila Samman saving certificate, recently launched in 2023-24 budget only. So this year only this has been announced. And then we have Kisan Vikas Patra. So this is for the benefits of farmers. Okay, then we have social security schemes. There are some social security schemes which are Sukanya Samriddhi scheme. So this scheme is for the parents who can deposit some amount for the minor girl child. So Sukanya Samriddhi means, if your girl child is small, you can open this account for the education purpose, for the marriage purpose, and at the maturity you will have a good profit. Okay. Then public provident fund, we have senior citizen savings. So this is for the senior saving scheme. It is for the 60 and above people, and in fact if they are from army retired OD, because usually from the government schemes army personals are being excluded, but in this even if from army retired they can take part of this. Okay. And these are the interest, and this is what the actual news is. So for this quarter the interest rate has been in some cases it is same, in some cases it has been revised. For example, if you look at saving deposits for them for the last year, if we look at on an average it was 4. Okay, financial year we are talking about, so financial year it was ended on 31st March 2023, right? So it was 4 last year, this time it is also 4. Then 1 year deposit, then there is different category. Okay, on an average it is 4. Saving deposit means the normal one, and if you are doing for time duration with different maturity, so 1 year it is, first it was 6.6 and now it is 6.8. So basically what is the difference of 0.2%? So how many? So 20 base point, right? I hope you are now getting what we meant before. For 3 it is 6.9, increase from 6.8. For 3 sorry, that was for 2 year. For 3 it is 7, and then for 5 years 7.5. देखो मैं समझ सकती हूँ कि ये रटना काफ़ी मुश्किल हो सकता है, बट यू जस्ट गो थ्रू इट दैट हाउ मच अराउंड हाउ मच द पर्टिकुलर इंटरेस्ट आर देयर, और स्पेशली इफ यू डोंट वांट टू गो फॉर इंडिविजुअली, आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड इंडिविजुअली कैन बी डिफिकल्ट, गो फॉर द मेजर वन. फॉर एग्जांपल सीनियर सिटीजन सेविंग स्कीम, गो फॉर द पीपी पब्लिक प्रोविडेंट फंड, गो फॉर द नेशनल सेविंग स्कीम, किसान पत्र, इनका थोड़ा यू कैन जस्ट लुक एट अ लिटिल बिट, यू कैन हैव एन ओवरव्यू, राइट, एंड इट विल बी easier for you to remember if you cannot remember all these maturity wise. Then some of the key features comprises of 12 instrument, means different 12 types of schemes that are present. The depositor gets an assured interest on their money, so that's confirmed that they'll get assured money. And this particular, if we talk about assured money, interest rates are reset on quarterly basis. So on each quarter they get the money interest rate, they are fluctuated or they are reset. Okay, it can increase also, it can decrease also, it can be same also. Usually it increases or it remains same, hardly it happens, and especially during COVID time a little bit, during that time it happened, it was decreased a little bit. Rest apart it's only that. The rates are reviewed periodically by Ministry of Finance, so quarterly they are reset, and they can remain same also, and they can be changed also. But periodically also Ministry of Finance, they keep on having a check, is the interest rate fine with the market fluctuation or not. Okay, then collection, now whatever collection that have been done in the small saving instrument, that is credited to the national small saving fund. So there should be some fund where all this will be collected, so that is a national small saving fund. Okay, so by this we have completed the static portion, and now the importance of this scheme from the current affairs point of view, let's understand. Okay, so we have understood how one thing is that from 1st April there have been changes in the percent criteria, right, that interest rate criteria, that we have understood. Apart from that, we have also understood that this in the budget there was a new scheme component that has been added under it, right. Apart from that, if we look at, there were also some modifications done. So I say don't go for individual percentage and all the individual static component of all the 12 instruments that are under this. It is better to focus more on the ones which have been recently changed, because देखो chances किसके होंगे ज़्यादा आने के, जो बजट में जो changes आए होंगे, instead of कोई static पुराना लेके आया हो इससे, ठीक है. तो ये वाले तो तुम करके जाओ अच्छे से. So here limit of senior citizen saving scheme, if we look at, so there is some upper limit. Okay, so initially it was 15 lakh, but under this year budget it has been now increased to how much? It has been increased to 30 lakh. And not only of senior citizen scheme, but also for the monthly account scheme, that is there, monthly investment account scheme. So for both the type of schemes the upper limit has been increased to 30 lakh. But now in case of, so this monthly investment income account scheme, it was if it is in group, then it is for 30 for more than one people. But if it is a single account under monthly income account scheme, then in such case deposit limit has been increased to 9 lakh. So for single persons or single account it is 9 lakh, but overall if it has more than one participant, then it is 30 lakh maximum. And also for the senior citizen saving scheme, from 15 to 30 lakh has been increased. Introduce a new small saving scheme. So a new scheme has been launched, Mahila Samman Saving Certificate, and it says that 7.5 interest quarterly will be provided. And see, currently it has been said that the 7.5% interest, it will not fluctuate. Okay, but let's see if that happens or not, with a maximum limit of 2 lakh. And it has been recently, in fact it has been in effect from 1st April 2023 only. And also it is still March, you can participate in this from March 2025. So if, and this is specifically for females, there's no age bar. So if you are a female and watching this particular lecture, I would personally suggest, please invest in this. You are going to get a good interest rate in that, and that is for fixed amount, that is also we are getting. And the maturity, if you invest now, the maturity period will be March 2025. Okay, so this is what the Mahila Saman Saving Scheme is all about. And there are some other highlights also which you can look at. For example, Public Provident Fund. See, it has a limit, upper limit of 15 years. So for 15 years you would have to invest in it. But if you look at after 5 years, you can have partial withdrawal, you can have after 5 years. But for 15 years this particular scheme runs. Now here, अब इसमें क्या याद रखना है, किसमें क्या याद नहीं रखना है. So what things to remember and what things to skip. I am saying skip these particular data. Why I am saying skip this particular data? Because that is anyway can change from every quarter. It can happen. So this particular data, remember only that is before your examination. Rest apart, these things are important because now these things are not going to change at least for 1 year. So that, so the for PPF, what is the maximum deposit during a financial year? That is rupees 1.5 lakh. For senior citizen savings scheme, what is the maximum? So now it has been extended to 30 lakh from 15 lakh, so it becomes important. National savings scheme, so this is for minimum, this is for 5 years, the duration, the maturity period is 5 years. And here there is no maximum limit. So under National Savings Certificate, there is no maximum limit. You can upload anything, but investment up to 1.5 lakh annually can earn the investor tax benefit. We know that how investing in such social security schemes, and there are some NGOs and other organization also, where if you invest some of your amount, that particular amount is deducted from your annual income, and on that deducted money that you have left with now, on that basis only the tax is being calculated. So for example, if you for example, the tax slab has now been increased to 7 lakh anyway, and you earn 8.5 lakh annually. So technically you should have to pay tax on 1.5 lakh, means first you have to deduct 7 lakh, so it remains 1.5 lakh, right? But now you are someone who was also investing in national savings schemes, and your annually you contributed in it 1.5 lakh. So what is the overall that you have been left with? 7 lakh. So what does it mean? Would you have to pay tax? No, because this particular 1.7 lakh annually, it has been now deducted because it is the feature of this particular scheme. Okay, and under section 80C of income tax 1961. Now Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana, as I told you, this is for the girl child. Current interest rate, investor can put in amount from even below as low as 250 from it can start, and this is specially focusing on the weaker economical section of our society, so that they can also have a better future for their girl child. So the minimum is 250. Even you can say you can have this saving account with minimum of rupees 250 to 1.5 lakh every fiscal year. Okay, then we have Kisan Vikas Patra, and here we have to look at that it is available on the denomination or the multiple of 1000, 5000 and 10,000 and also 50,000. There is no maximum limit on the investment. Okay, so these are some of the key highlights that you have to keep in mind. Again, this was all the thing that you have to remember, the big boost for small saving schemes in higher interest rate for June quarter. Okay, so here we are looking at how the for PPF the money the percentage interest rate was unchanged. Apart from that, we have seen that how there is a range of 10 to 70 basis point increment that we have hike that we have observed. Okay, so here's a homework for you all. The maximum deposit limit of the senior citizen scheme has been increased too, so you have to tell which is the right answer, and these are the toppers of the last session. See, we Venkat, you told the right what is the correct answer, but here it should not be 1, then it should be 2, right? I don't know. These can be considered as silly mistakes in examination which can cost you marks. Okay, Mayur, if we talk about for 3 to 4 months, if you have done, that is more than enough. Your approx 70 to 75% paper will fall under this category only, 3 to 4 months. But if you want to be safer side, well, you are a working aspirant, but still if you feel like you have covered the syllabus in good time, then you can go back to 6 months. But I don't refer you to go back beyond this. See, there can be 1 to 2 questions that are even 1 year back, but you have to understand that you have to skip those questions. You don't have to top the examination. 1 or 2 questions or 2 to 3 questions are safer to skip. Okay, so that's not an issue. But and the number of questions beyond 1 year will not be that much. Now, Impana, we can't really say, right? But what, because it can come this month or it can come in July, but you can be prepared. You can at least prepare the static portion of the examination so that you don't have to worry when the examination comes, and then you just have to do the current affairs. Triveni said the right answer, Rajiv said the right answer, then we have Rishabh saying the right answer and also telling what the right answer should be. Rishi, welcome, and answer is correct. Amit is saying the right answer, Bruce Wayne is saying the right answer. Chavi, हिंदी में आप डिस्क्रिप्टिव राइटिंग कर सकते हो, दैट इज अलाउड. एंड चेतन, द आंसर इज रॉन्ग. Okay, please let me know if you could not understand. Please revisit the scheme and the questions. And thank you everyone for watching the session. If you like the session, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can also join our Telegram channel to get the PDF of this and every lecture that we provide here on YouTube. And that is all. So I am covering all the schemes that are being asked by you, and also I'm looking at which are important from the examination point of view and also which were in news. So in that pattern only I am doing, and also on the when the student have requested for the scheme, so on that basis also I am making the scheme. So if you want me to cover any scheme, do let me know. I'll make a session on that. And good afternoon, Sneha. I hope you are preparing well for the examination. So thank you, and we'll meet again with another session. Until then.